We hear tons and tons of media statements saying special interests run our political system. So here's the question. How do you balance the interest of your District 24 citizens who elect you and the interest of special interest contributors outside the district? And don't start answering it yet. Folks, look up on the board. I went to the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission, which these candidates must report their campaign contributions to. And here's what I found. Out of the top 75 contributors to their campaigns, Mr. McIntyre has received $30,793 in total. 19 of them counted for $11,650, or 37.8% of his contributions come from outside the district. Mr. Theringer, same set of numbers, 26.9% of his contributions come from outside the district, special interests. Mr. Gates, $4,500, or 15% came from outside the district. And of Mr. Vanderweeg's contributors, over 50% of that money came from cities or accounts outside of this district. How do you serve the citizens of District 24 and balance that with the special interest contributors?
Well, looking at the $4,500 that I received from outside the district, I have to comment that some of that was from my mother-in-law. She lives in Issaquah. Not to be trite, I've been a firm believer, and I have to commend the other part of the trio during the initial stages of our campaign, Mr. Durgan, who chose not to accept campaign contributions from anybody, a remarkable feat, and I commend him for that attempt. We do need money to run a campaign that's going to be heard across a district this size. I'm a firm believer that the real people that I want to represent are the ones that are going to write a check to me, because they're part of our local community. We're up as of today, I think it's about 195 local contributors that I'm just really proud of, you know, the $25 and $50 and $100 contributors. And those people represent the folks in the district that believe in my message and that are helping make sure that that message gets out without being tied into special interest groups, unions and PACs and so forth that I feel aren't the ones that are in need of being represented.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thanks for the question, and I have one special interest, and it's the people here of the Olympic Peninsula. That's who I care deeply about. Those numbers really don't mean anything, and if you wanted to spend hours didacting them all, for instance, one thing that they have is the endorsement question earlier. The NRA and Goal both have given me $800 each. There are a lot of NRA members here that actually contribute politically. I do myself personally. That money goes to Sacramento, California, and then it comes back here in political donations. So part of that money, for instance, is just solid money that's raised by passionate people that care about an issue, gun rights being one of them, that goes to a city somewhere and then comes back when you say, you know what, I'm going to stand up and defend your rights. Special interests in Olympia are easy to say no to. I do it all the time. There was, my first year, there was a group, and I won't name them, gave me a check, and we're in the first week, and they just had the wackiest idea in the world. I'm like, no way, I'm not going to support that. They wanted me to sponsor it. I'm not even going to vote for it, let alone sponsor it. So I have a special interest in the people of the Olympic Peninsula. The graph that shows money coming from outside the district really doesn't mean anything. We have 225 this year, 225 contributors locally that have invested in our campaign. Those are the people I care about, the hardworking people of the Olympic Peninsula. If you wanted to, I mean, we could spend all night going through. This is labor money from strong labor unions inside the district, NRA money, realtor money. All those people have given to me, and all of that technically comes from outside the district. A lot of it, though, is raised by people that are involved in those issues inside the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned earlier, you get the questionnaires, the money comes in. I quite frankly don't pay much attention to it. I'm glad to get the support, but it really has no influence on the way I vote. I mean, obviously I've run for office here in Clown County, 3 times as a commissioner, and people have supported that, and I think you could argue that I did what I thought was best for the people of Clown County. And when I'm in the legislature, I'll do what I think is best for the people of the 24th Legislative District and what is best for the state of Washington. And I think when we start thinking in these terms, and we start polarizing ourselves and categorizing ourselves and dividing ourselves like this, we don't find the solutions that we need. We face serious challenges, folks. And when we start parsing our information out like this, we're making it difficult to find the solutions. Our politics are not keeping up with our challenges. And if you want to continue to be polarizing and divisive, and it's on either side of the spectrum, anywhere on the spectrum. If you want to use language, you want to use money, and you want to use all these different ways to slice and dice it, I think you're asking the wrong questions. Our challenges are getting more and more acute, and our politics are getting more and more dysfunctional. And that is not a good trend line. We need to come together. We need to have a process and start thinking about the challenges we face and how we are best going to solve those challenges. Quite frankly, I don't think talking about liberty and self-reliance really gets you there. You need to start thinking about solutions, and you need to start thinking about policies that are going to get you to solutions. If my opponent talks about self-reliance when he's on a medical care from the military, where he doesn't really have to answer that question, I think that's a false choice. We need to look at the difficult challenges we have and have our politics match those challenges.
Thank you, Steve. Jim?
This is one of your job interviews. I've said this in different forums. This is your opportunity to determine who you're going to hire, in essence, to represent you for the next 2 years in Olympia. One good way to do that is to look at an individual's record, particularly if they hold elective office. Look to see how they voted, look to see how they've expressed the reasons why they vote the particular way they do, and also look at where the support comes from. I alluded a little earlier to endorsements. Money is a way of expressing an endorsement. Look and see who's endorsing who's supporting who, and you can begin to detect, at least from that data point, how an individual is going to vote, and then you can make your own individual hiring decision based upon your own choices of who you want to vote for. With respect to my TRICARE, I earned it. 28 years.